Hello, and welcome to Pack Your Bags and Not Your Baggage. So this podcast is for women who view travel as part of their self-care routine. We are coming to you, Mallory and I, on the AmaSintra. It's an Ama Waterways ship, and we are in the Douro River Valley of Portugal. So this opportunity came about because our travel agency is friends with the godmother of the AmaSintra. Her name is Jen Lee. So it's a unique opportunity for us to sail with Jen Lee, other travel agents, and lots of our clients. And no other guests outside of those three groups are sailing with us. So it's been a really unique opportunity. So Mallory, what were your thoughts whenever you heard about this opportunity and, the opportunity of taking advantage of this as a chance to learn about river cruises? This is your first time river cruise. Tell us all about that.
So yeah, that's actually when our agency first announced that we would be doing this, I was like, this is such a special opportunity. I have always sold a lot of family trips, but I wanted to experience something that was a little different, something that was more immersive and something that I can offer some of these some of my clients that might be a little bit maybe empty nesters or retirees. So I was like, wow, this is a great opportunity. It also happened to fall on my birthday. So I was like, you know what? It's a sign. I should go. I was like, yes, let's do this. So that was why I really wanted to go. And my daughter was getting a little bit older where I can leave her at home with my grandmother. So it ended up working out a little better rather than having like a newborn. So just the opportunity came and I took advantage of it.
Love that. Yes. And, as travel agents, I mean, that's what makes us better travel agents is experiencing the product so that we can speak firsthand to what to expect on the excursions, what to expect in the lounge. How is the food? How's the wine? How's the beer? Yeah. Yeah.
The tiny details. That's like, you cannot research enough. You have to experience it to really see those minor things that make a huge difference.
Absolutely. And so as you can see, behind us is the beautiful Douro River Valley. So we told you why we decided to book ourselves and try to book clients on this river cruise. And I was able to book 12 clients on this cruise because they, like a lot of international travels, they've already been to the big three. So France, Spain, and Greece. So those are kind of super popular tourist destinations. And Portugal is kind of emerging as a new hotspot for tourists, as well as expats, as well as people from the UK and the United States to relocate to after they retire. So it's pretty interesting that it's been catching on fire the last like 5 to 10 years.
It really has. I mean, I never thought about Portugal until I booked this trip with my agency. And once I started mentioning to friends, family, clients, a lot of them are like, I love it there. I have a house there, or I want to go there. And I'm like, wow, this is really like emerging as like a huge popular destination to go for many people.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
a bucket
same.
list. Yeah.
I had no idea how many people wanted to come here and were looking at this as a bucket list type item.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I knew the Douro River was wine, like it's wine country, but it just to experience it, you can sort of see as we've been going by like some of the vineyards, but it's oh my gosh, it's something you have to experience. You cannot like describe how beautiful this valley is.
Yeah, absolutely. So the people that we see most frequently, and this cruise is no different. We see a lot of empty nesters because if you're going to do a cruise like this or a trip like this, you're talking about international travel. So when you're coming from the U.S. to Europe, you're losing a day just because you're crossing the international date line. So even though it takes 9 to 12 hours to get here, depending on how many connections you have for your flight, you're still going to lose a day no matter what because you're crossing that international date line. So you're already talking about committing, and a lot of the river cruises are 7 to 12 day itineraries. So you're already looking at least uh, a 10-day commitment to being away from home, to taking kids out of school, all that good stuff. So, and then when you add on that a lot of the river cruise lines, because most of their bookings are just two adults, they don't even have cabins that sleep more than two people.
That is very true.
Yeah.
I mean, plus I know Jen mentioned about having that like 7 to 10 day commitment with the having the layovers and also having that jet lag. There's also opportunities you might want to explore the towns and cities that you start in. We were fortunate enough to start in Lisbon, and we're able to do an immersive experience with the cruise line, which is absolutely beautiful as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So just the time commitment that you have to make really knocks it out as not so much an adventure for small children. So if you have adult children, which we do have a couple of families here that are traveling with their adult children, that works great. Of course, you have to have multiple cabins. So now you're looking at, can your children afford their own cabin, or are mom and dad paying for that cabin for them? So just to give you an idea, that's kind of who a river cruise is geared towards, especially if you're going to go to Europe and do it.
Especially with the Douro River, it is very wine centered. And I mean, as a child, like a lot of these excursions and onboard activities do base themselves around wine and alcohol. So they're not really going to be interested in that.
And history.
And history.
And no kids are interested in history.
A lot of history. I mean, it's very interesting, but a lot of kids, yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
Right. And so now, if you do want to take your child on a river cruise, Tauk River Cruises, they do have a family-friendly division of their cruises. So they do have itineraries for children, and they have they'll have a crew member that will entertain the kids on the ship. They'll have some special excursions that are kind of kid focused. So if you really want to take your child on a river cruise, talk to either Mallory or I or Kim about Tauk and what their kid-friendly programming is about.
Yeah. And I mean, there's also some itineraries that might be a little bit more focused on children. And I know you did bring up children. Waterways also works with Adventures by Disney, which is another children's focused adventure. So
yeah,
there are options for you to take a river cruise with young children.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mallory, you mentioned about the pre-cruise land package that with Waterways, and I know a lot of the other cruise lines do this, but if you book within a certain amount of time, or sometimes they'll just run random specials where the crew gratuities and a land or a pre-cruise or a post-cruise land package is included in the price. So for this one, we did Lisbon. So how did the land package before we got on the ship compare to the pace? Like, how did it feel different?
So I thought that it was, I would say, we're gonna
That's all right.
Cut this out. Try to think of how to. I mean, we don't even know if this even connected.
Kind of, yeah. Contrast the faster pace of Lisbon with the slow pace of
that's
sailing.
good. Yeah. So yeah, when we arrived in Lisbon, it was very seamless. We ended up at our hotel. We had a night to just like settle in, but the tours, I mean, they were a lot more fast paced compared to being on the Douro River, which was a little bit more ease, going to the vineyards, walking around, seeing like different like ruins and everything, but definitely that city style, or even Sintra, which had we went to a city close there called Cascais, and it was a sea town, and it was bustling with people, and it was a great way to start off our adventure.
But to me, it was kind of like the stereotypical excursion, or if you're doing a land package, you get up early.
Yes.
You meet everybody downstairs, everybody has a little bite to eat, and then you're jumping on
You're
the
off.
bus and you're going and you're gone for most of the day, 4 to 6 to 8 hours that we were gone. And then you get back, you get clean, you have time to get cleaned up, and then everybody's down there for dinner. Or we might have even had a second excursion when we went to the Fado dinner
yes, you went to
and
the Fado.
performance. Yeah. So sometimes you even had a second evening excursion. So it was quite the full day. Okay, we're trying to reconnect again. Okay, there we
And
go.
we're back.
So that made for a full day versus once we boarded the ship, it was here on the Douro River, which is very unique from other European river cruises. We can't sail at night. So the day starts much easier, much slower, and we're sailing in the morning. We're seeing the beautiful views while we're sailing. We're talking to everybody about what we did yesterday, or we're jumping in the pool and hanging out.
I mean, me and her, we went to the gym almost every morning.
Right.
But it was such a nice, it's different. And even with like ocean cruising, like a lot of the excursions are you get up first thing in the morning and you go. This had such a different feel of getting up, taking your time, being able to enjoy breakfast, enjoy doing some sort of morning activities.
Right.
I know some of us worked a little bit.
Yes.
But it was a different feel and it was really nice. I mean, it was awesome. Like if you're not a morning person, you were able to just stay in bed a little bit longer instead of having to force yourself out and get out the door.
And if you have experience sailing like any of the rivers in France or the Rhine River in Germany or the Danube, you know that, as soon as you set ashore, you can just walk off and you're in the city center. So that's another thing that's different about the Douro River Valley is, as you can see, I mean, these are some steep hills. So people don't settle. The cities are not right on the river like they are on the Danube and the Rhine and the Seine. So you have to have some kind of transportation to get up to where the actual city is. And so that also really changes the experience.
It does. I would say it's a little bit more structured than from what I've heard about other other rivers.
Yeah. So if you love the scenery, the scenic type of cruise, this is definitely the type of river cruise for you. Mallory, this is your first river cruise. So, but you've done some ocean cruising. So tell us a little bit about the differences.
So I would say the biggest difference is just the size of the ship and how intimate and personal you can get while on the ship with other travelers. You get to know everybody. We're all like-minded individuals. We're here for the same reason. We go on these excursions, we experience things together, and it's just totally different being able to talk to everybody and have a conversation with everybody on the ship, and they know your name, you know their name.
Right.
Even the workers, like, I mean, by day 2, you know everybody's name.
Yeah.
They're there and like all the time. And it's really like, it's very special to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So
100%. So yeah, we have 86 passengers on this cruise, which they consider a full charter.
yes.
Yeah. And so really easy. I mean, you have one lounge that everybody goes to. You have one main dining room that we all eat at. And the same coffee maker that we're all going to get our latte.
You meet up with the same people every morning. You usually get their coffee at the same time. The best is, I mean, the workers, like especially at breakfast. I know you get an omelet every day.
Yep, he knows how to make my omelet.
Exactly how they like their drinks, and it's really special.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, the thing that it has in common with ocean cruising, you pack once, you unpack once, but you get to see all these fantastic destinations. So that's always huge. And another thing that happens quite frequently on river cruises is they'll run a promo where you can prepay for your gratuities. Now, every river cruise includes all your meals. So there's no specialty dining package that you have to get. For AMA Waterways, we get our beer and wine with lunch and dinner. So pretty much all our drinks are covered. There's the sail away cocktail hour. So before we leave every port, we have an hour before dinner where drinks are free. So yeah, so there's really,
it's really all inclusive. And I don't know about all the other cruise lines, but I know with here your excursions are also included, which makes a huge difference. You don't have to worry about planning where you want to go or what you want to do. And if you don't want to go, that's fine too. So it's still your vacation. You don't have to do everything, but it's there and it's an option.
Yeah.
I know, Jen, you said that most other rivers, there's multiple options. So you really do have choices when you're on here. And it's really special. I like that. I really like the full package.
Yeah. Even on here, there's been the easy pace tour for those who have some mobility issues. But we've gotten to enjoy a couple of the ones that were a little more strenuous, where we got to hike up 300 and how many stairs was it? 346?
Something like that. Yeah. It was fun. I mean, and that's the thing is like, that's why it's nice to have, like, if you have a group of friends or family that you might have someone who is not as able to walk up a 300 and something steps, flights of stairs or whatever, but they are able to experience the same thing or stay on the ship because the ship is beautiful as well.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, today we had kind of hit a wall. So we decided to stay on board. We had to check email, do some work. But still about half the people that stayed on the ship with us, they did get off the ship for about 30 or 45 minutes to look around the town, do a little shopping. It's just, we were happy in the sun
and
work.
the view, view. I mean, we were typing away emails and this is the view we had.
Yeah.
So
it never gets old.
No, it doesn't. I'm going to miss this.
So on that note, we are going to give you some final tips on our final boarding call. So do you want to start or do you want me to? Do you have one ready?
I do. I will do it.
Okay.
So I would say if you're on a river cruise, do the pre-cruise. Do the pre-cruise. It is absolutely beautiful. And also get yourself immersed in the area already. And especially if you do it with like Ama Waterways, we were able to have, there was a good group of passengers already with us and we got to know them a little bit more, as well as our cruise director who also does the pre-cruise with us.
Yep.
So you kind of have that experience. You're more comfortable when you get on board already having that.
Right. Because you're already acclimated. You're on the new time zone.
Yep. Exactly. So definitely consider doing the pre-cruise.
Yes. And my final boarding call tip is about currency. We get asked that question all the time. Should I bring some currency with me? And yeah, I think you should. I mean, a lot of places, especially if you're talking about Europe, they're going to accept credit cards, Apple Pay. I've had no problem using my Apple Pay everywhere. But to get currency, that's always the tricky thing. So I discovered that I could go online. I use Bank of America. So I could go online and actually order the currency, the euros that I needed, and then and I went and picked them up at my local outlet, my bank outlet. So it was very easy to do. And they even gave me a discount because of how much business I do with them.
That's
so
great.
Yeah. So not only do you get the best exchange rate possible, but if you do, if you have multiple accounts with them, they're probably going to give you a discount.
That's a really nice advantage right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that is this week's episode of Pack Your Bags, Not Your Baggage, coming to you direct from the Douro River Valley in Portugal. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have some questions, please reach out to us. Remember, we have our Facebook group and our Instagram page. You can DM any of the three of us. Kim could not be here because she's at Disneyland while we're here in Portugal. I know she's definitely feeling some FOMO, but you can DM any of the three of us or post your comments in the general conversation and let us know what you thought.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Any more thoughts from you about Portugal?
No. Definitely take the trip. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Yes. So we'll see you guys.